everybody, welcome to DIY the show. My name is Andrew Lowry. DIY the show is the public act show. We talk about DIY ethics, morals, ideas, and how they relate to your real, actual life. So each week, me, Andrew Lowry, I sit down with a couple of guests, and we talk about why they choose to do it themselves and why it's better than everything else. So without further ado, I want to welcome you all to DIY!
It's time for DIY.
It's time for DIY. Hey, everybody!
DIY time. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Lowry. I'm your beautiful host. We're here on the show today talking about things and stuff. I have a very, very, very cool one for you today. We're talking about self-defense on the show. We're talking about how to defend yourself. Now, me, myself, I have never once been in a fight. I have only been beat up. That has happened several times. One time I was beat up because I told someone I thought ICP just was not that great of a band. And they decided that that was a worthy reason to beat me up. So hopefully today I will learn how to defend myself against juggalos. And I got some great guests. We got a great band in the studio. So today's really, really stacked. I'm really excited for the show today. Off the top, I always like to talk about what I've been thinking about this week. You know, I've been thinking about people's, sort of second win, second sort of segment in your life. You know, for me, this is the 5th project I've started. This is the 5th thing I've tried to put out. And DIY, at the end of the day, is doing it yourself. So you're going to continue going and trying. You're going to fail over and over again. A lot of friends I have come to me and said, hey, Andy, this show you're doing, it's awesome. I can't believe you kept going. You're like inspiring me. And I'm like, well, if I'm inspiring you, why don't you go do something, man? Your band is over. Start a new band. Draw a comic. Go make a movie. Do a thing. So that's what I want to say to you off the top and welcome you all into here to the show. So as always, I want to thank the house band for playing me in. Not Chris. Shit. Oh, fuck. Look at that sass. I'm sorry, Cliff. I'm thinking about a lot of things, guys. So we have Cliff and Oscar with us today. Chris is not here. That's the sentence I was trying to say.
Sure.
I'm sorry. So today we have Oscar and Cliff. Cliff is our band leader today. Oscar is also our band leader today. They are co-band leaders. So how are we both doing today?
I mean, it was great.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. So later we're going to do some sparring. Do you want to take it out on me later, Cliff, maybe? Maybe beat me up a little bit?
No.
No?
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, Cliff.
That's okay.
I'm offended for him, so if I could.
Oscar wants to beat me up?
I don't want to.
Okay.
I feel Chris wants to, but doesn't want to do the physical part.
That's fair. Oscar, how are you as well?
I'm great.
Yeah, either of you been in a fight before?
No. In 2nd grade, I had a friend that I think took a karate class.
Oh, okay. That's close to a fight, though.
Yeah.
It's close. How about you, Oscar?
I mean, yes.
Yes?
Sure.
We can just go that far.
It's gone. I'm not saying anything, but yeah, sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for playing music for us, as always. Also on the show, we always have the rest of our panel alongside me. They were not here last week. They are back. Amanda and Bailey and Carbia all here. Let's hear it for them in the studio, everybody. Nice claps around. So we'll start off with the love of my life, my beautiful girlfriend, the purple-haired, space-eyed lady next to me. You are a resident artist, Amanda. Now, this week I reached out to the internet for what you should draw. Now, what did you ultimately decide to draw out of the choices the internet had given you?
Well, our good friend Tyler suggested that I draw the child of you and Godzilla.
Yes.
So
That is my fantasy.
horrifying.
This is the start. Can we get a shot right now of this?
Thank you, Tyler, for fueling my
Tyler
nightmares.
Bisson, thank you. Big ups from Florida. That is close.
That is fine art, and I would like a print.
That's what our child will look like, Amanda. That is what our child will look like. But thank you. So we'll keep checking in on your progress, and we'll see what you turn up with a little later.
Sounds good.
So Bailey, you're back with us this week. How we doing?
This week. I'm great this week, thank you.
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you? What's going on? What's new?
Nothing.
Nothing. I love it.
Nothing
I love
is
it.
new. I'm working from home now, so I never have to leave my apartment. It's great.
Amanda does that as well.
Hoorah.
It is a dream
Oh, yeah,
life.
right?
It is a dream life to work from home. Now, Bailey, you're in the chat room right now. Is
I
anybody in there? Anybody saying anything? Say
People
something.
are watching, but it doesn't appear that anybody is saying anything. But you know what? People should say things.
Say
so come
things.
to the chat room and say things.
Talk to Bailey.
Yeah,
if you want to hang out with us all episode long, ask Bailey
yeah.
your
Stop
questions.
being freaking
She'll let us
statues.
know.
Yeah, I'll shout them out.
Yeah, we'll shout 'em
Seriously.
out.
Shout
I know,
out
right?
to
Stop
my
being so-
questions.
stop-
I got you.
Stop being a bunch of freaking statues for once.
Stop being statue, says Carbia. Get into Carbia. He's back there, hiding out in the back. You're in your alter ego look today. Now, what is the name of your alter ego again?
Shindai Omaru, the alter from my short film from like 6 years ago.
Exactly. So, Carbia, what's new with you, buddy? How's the gaming going?
As of right now, not half. As you probably have heard, I already finished my review of every Mega Man game that's been in the works since last fall. But
Nice.
I didn't want to leave it on the back burner any longer. I'm planning more stuff too. But
Yeah, so you're playing some fighting games right now, correct?
Yeah, King of Fighters 11.
Nice.
And I figured I'd bring some stuff that requires for the topic. Let's see, I got Kung Fu, Art of Fighting, Shinobi 3.
I think I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles earlier.
Oh, the Manhattan Project?
Yeah, so we're going to be kicking some turtle butt today here on the show. Well, thank you, Carbia. Thank you as always. And so we're going to go to a live performance right now from our featured live band. I'm so excited. They came all the way from New York. Everybody traveled for this episode, all of our guests and live band. Nobody's ever done that. People take the bus here, and then I have to pay their bus fare. So this is awesome. I'm so excited. Let's get a nice round of applause. Here's their new record. Just came out, 420. Go check it out online. Adrian Aardvark in the studio, everybody. Let's hear it.
If I wasn't introduced to pornography, would I be such a pervert? Feverishly masturbating to images I later regret. Oh, the shame is so beautifully smeared all over my face, facing the loss that you struggle with and finding a lover to embrace. Drowning in these pleasurable streams. I have been so distracted. My time's been so wasted. Coming up with illogical solutions, drastically considering castration, holding back the horny wildebeest within me, wondering why everyone is acting so friendly. Are we all motivated by self-interest? If it's true, then whom can you trust? Just trust us! Do I hate myself because I'm a hypocrite? I'm dying for my tomorrow to be more optimistic.
fucking amazing. Adrian Aardvark in the studio got another couple of songs for us later on in the show. Check them out online. We got their new record right here. Dying optimistically, into that. I'm always in optimism and also depression. That's what we're about here on DIY. Perfect balance of manic depression. But either way, we're here talking about self-defense. I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce the people sitting next to me right now. In the studio, we got Sarah Hubbard and Jamie Klock. Let's hear it from them in the studio, everybody. Let's hear it. It's Huber. All right, I should have asked before the show, but
you want to be careful about mispronouncing.
Yeah, hey.
Could be.
I know you both very. I should watch myself today and make sure not to offend my guests.
For sure.
So Sarah, Jamie, thank you both for coming in. We're all appreciative to have you in here today. So we're talking about self-defense. Just want to maybe go through a little bit of a brief intro. So you run a facility and own it, Villari's, out in Westborough, correct?
That's correct.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in martial arts and sort of training?
Yeah, so my parents signed me up for karate lessons just before I turned 10.
Yeah.
And then basically just kind of went through the belts and like kept doing it just like for exercise and whatnot. My instructor signed me up for instructor training when I was like a teenager. I think I was 14 when I got certified as an instructor.
Very nice.
At age 16, I earned my black belt, and I started teaching adult classes at age 16 as well. At age 18, they basically handed me the key, and they're like,
Wow.
so you're chief instructor now, have fun with classes. And I was like, all right, awesome. So I just kept doing it. And then at age 29, I became the owner of the studio.
That's amazing.
So that's the quick story of it.
See,
so.
I think that's so interesting because it's almost like you were an apprentice, you know, and I feel like that's not a real thing out in the world much anymore unless, you know, maybe I think electricians, plumbing, you still have apprenticeships. But I mean, for the most part, there's no sort of world in which they're going to groom you and train you to sort of have all these trainings inside of you. Now, do you find that it has been a huge, like, beneficial thing to have martial arts in your life this whole time?
Definitely.
Definitely?
Definitely. The biggest thing is I don't have to feel afraid.
Yeah.
Like, and probably the thing that's most important to me as a martial artist is whenever my friends are with me, whenever I'm around, everybody feels safe.
Yeah.
And you cannot, there's no better feeling.
Honestly, this episode feels 100% safer with the two of you here today. Now next to you we have Jamie. Now, Jamie, how long have you been sort of in martial arts?
Oh man, well I'm gonna date myself here. My
okay.
mother took me to see Rocky in the movie theaters.
Wow.
And I said, I want to do that, Mom. I want to do that. And at the time where I grew up in a small town in New York called Oswego, there wasn't any boxing facilities.
Yeah.
So I got thrown into wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Which I liked even better. So
Yeah.
I went from wrestling, I got a little older, got into karate, actually the same system that she's in right now. And it evolved from there, eventually into boxing,
Wow.
jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. And, when I was growing up, you and your friends, you always went in the backyard, you went and fought,
Yeah.
and it turned out I was pretty damn good at it.
There
So,
you go.
wasn't the brightest guy in the world, so I'm like, maybe beating people up for a living might be the best choice. So that's kind of what I gravitated towards.
And Sarah told me you used to do MMA fights as well.
Yeah, when I started doing it in the mid-'90s, the UFC first started in 1993, and it
Okay.
originated with a sport in Brazil called Vale Tudo. And Vale Tudo has 3 rules. No fish hooking, no eye gouging, and no small joint manipulation.
Yeah.
Other than that, almost anything goes.
Wow.
So when the UFC came here to the United States in 93, they had about the same rules. So it wasn't really, it was frowned upon for a long time in a lot of places. So in the early days when you were coming up competing, a lot of these were done on Native American reservations, smaller casinos. It was one step above Fight Club.
Wow. Hey, I mean, I think
That's
that's DIY, man. That's what we're talking about here. So you had some friends organize it together and get things going.
The way it would work is, you
have
had
a promoter.
Yeah, you had like your martial arts schools, every locations, and everybody wanted to get together and test themselves.
Yeah.
So again, at the time, the Native American reservations were the only places that would allow it. So what we would do is we would put on shows there, but as a contingent to that, they had their own tough guys,
Yeah.
and two of our guys would fight their guys, and like, all right, well, we're surrounded by a bunch of big Native Americans. You're going to lose this fight whether you want to or not. We didn't want them
You
killing
don't
us.
want to
afterwards.
win this.
Yeah, you don't want to win. Take a couple good punches. You're tough enough. Go down, and then we'll get out of here.
That's
alive.
awesome.
So that's pretty much
crazy.
how it started.
Well, that's, I think, really cool to me is that sort of world where, you sort of found something you wanted to do and you went for it. And that's what we're always trying to preach here on the show. Now, when it comes to sort of martial arts self-defense, I asked Sarah, is there any sort of other things you think you get out of it besides just the physical health benefits?
You know what? It's weird because there's things like I see people play guitar and people play piano and people that do math. And I'm just like, how do they do that? I just can't figure it out. And it turned up being one of those things that I was just good at. You know,
Yeah.
like my discipline of choice is jujitsu. And you get on the ground and you got someone wrapped up, and all of a sudden you're just whipping an armbar or a choke. You're
Yeah.
like, how did you do that? And I'm like,
Just natural.
just came to me.
Yeah.
I use the force or something. I have no idea. It just
That's
popped up.
amazing.
Yeah.
See, and that's really interesting to me because, that is one of my biggest things. I think a lot of the time people think of the word creative, of thinking like, paint to a canvas or songs on a guitar. It's like everything you do is creative. Every single avenue can be something you're passionate about. That's what I'm always trying to highlight. So I think that's really awesome.
Well, it's like if you see like Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Yeah.
For current purposes, that's an art form.
Yeah.
Doing what he does.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, even Tyson.
Yeah.
What they do is an art form.
It's all an art form.
Not anybody could just walk in there.
And I mean, you're thinking, because we did an episode last season about like physical health and more bodybuilding. We had a bodybuilder on. And so for him, it was about building the muscles, but it wasn't really a practical use of them for the most part. It was more physical, like just building up the attributes. But the thing he said to me that I found was interesting was sort of the discipline that comes along with building your body. Now, Sarah, what are some of the things maybe you sort of do to sort of the discipline you have to keep your body healthy and in check?
Just use it every day.
Yeah.
Like you can't let yourself get, lazy ever. You just have to just constant practice. And if you're practicing something like the martial arts, you're practicing not just like how you look, but everything is practical.
There you go.
Everything has an application, so it's a good way to motivate yourself. Like, if I do this move, another 10 times, I'm that much more likely to be able to pull it off in real life if I need to.
That's very true.
So it keeps you motivated, keeps you focused.
Anything for you, Jamie?
No, it's just same thing. Just not letting yourself get lazy.
Yeah.
As tempting as it is to sit around on the couch and play video games all day, which I kind of do quite a bit.
Me too. What's your game, Jamie? What's your game right now?
Right now, I'm still, believe it or not, I have almost 300 hours on Witcher 3.
Oh, really? Very nice. I loved Witcher.
Well, the worst part about it was I put 240 hours into it originally, then went and got a 4K TV, and I found out that they did the 4K upgrade. I'm like, I gotta get that again.
So I probably have a good 2,000 hours on all the Fallout franchises, so no judgments coming from here. Like you're saying, I'm a lazy person. So I sit on my couch, ask my girlfriend, am I lazy?
Very lazy.
Very lazy. I'm very
Both
lazy from my
crying
girlfriend. I do stuff. This is, but you're saying sort of things come naturally. You thought fighting or sort of like defending yourself came naturally to you. What comes naturally to me is this dumb stuff. Planning things, organizing things, finding friends. I was talking with the band earlier about the Muppets. I love Kermit. Kermit is my big inspiration in the world.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Everybody knows it. There's my Fozzie back there.
Fancy free. Moving
Exactly. Lessons for everybody. But yeah, so for those of us out there trying to maybe do their own thing, get their own thing started, so you kind of found, would you call it a dojo? Is that a term? So you found a dojo that sort of trained you and facilitated your growth. Now, for others out there looking for a way to maybe start their own sort of their sort of dojo or sort of training facility, what's maybe some advice you'd give them?
Well, don't start unless you have enough training. That would be thing one, is get the skill level first. Don't try to fake it till you make it. You need to be legit first.
Yeah.
So you need to train yourself and have command over your skill. Second, you need to treat teaching as a separate entity from being a practitioner, because there's people who are really great martial arts practitioners who cannot teach to save their lives. And then there are people who are, halfway decent practitioners, but who are really good teachers. And so they're two separate skills. And you want to be on top of both of those things before you start to enter this as a business.
Yeah.
So definitely work on your skill first.
And have that patience.
Right, and then you go and you market yourself.
Yeah.
The way that I did it is I just ended up taking over the school that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And I know a couple of other guys who've done very similar things. If you're looking to start from scratch, if you have the skill and you have the teaching, I've heard a very good plan is to start with like an after-school program or something like that. So you already start with there's a bunch of students, whatever age you're looking at to be your focus.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of them interested and you build a relationship with those people. And then once that's solid, then you branch off and you find a location, and then because you have a following now.
Yeah.
Rather than just opening a location and opening the doors
put
and
some balloons
hoping
out
people,
front,
put breadcrumbs in front of them, hope people wander in.
That's And I was even looking at your Facebook page for your dojo and some of the events you put on and some of the stuff you do for the youth is really cool. You do like Nerf fights,
Nerf wars,
lightsaber battles.
lightsaber training,
That's
water
awesome.
gun fights. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's really cool. I love that kind of
What's
stuff.
next, Kendo?
Well, also speaking of Ninja Turtles earlier,
Yeah.
we're actually kind of floating around the concept of doing like a Ninja Turtle type seminar.
Oh
Where
yeah.
the instructors will dress up as a particular
Oh, yes.
Ninja Turtle, and they will teach that weapon.
I
Yes.
teach
Oh,
all
see,
of the
that's
Ninja Turtle
awesome.
weapons.
And they
at
will,
this
they will
point,
cover,
too,
each
yeah.
one will cover that
We go
weapon.
around.
Now, did you happen to
Don.
bring any weapons with you?
I brought a pair of nunchucks because
Oh.
that's my
Mikey
self-defense
said-
weapon of
Mikey
choice.
said
Yeah.
your weapon,
So.
right?
Yeah, nunchucks are awesome. We're all really excited about that. Now, is there anything, we're going to go to a video in just a minute, but is there anything you either have to promote coming up, anything you want to let our viewers know?
Well, if you're anywhere near Westborough, my school is open all the time, right there in the center at that crazy rotary. If you're familiar with Westborough, feel free to drop in anytime. And our adult classes are going on every weekday night at 7.
Wow.
So you're welcome to come in anytime.
Go check out their page, go find all that stuff. Jamie, you got anything going on?
Well, pretty much. I'm just here supporting her, making
Yeah.
sure everything runs well. Because it's not like you asked before about what advice for people looking to start their
Yeah.
own. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things, number one, on top of you always have to make sure you're the toughest person in the room.
Yeah.
Because if you're the trainer and the instructor and somebody else comes in and kicks your ass, that can look very good for business.
No.
But
Ever
beyond
seen MacGyver?
Yeah, but beyond that, you got so much behind the scenes that have to be done.
Yeah,
You got
there's so
the
many.
paperwork, and the payroll for instructors, and making sure everybody pays their
a lot of
tuition.
work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
work.
put on
You
a
need to
goofy
support your
TV
staff.
show for 2 hours every week, and it's not anywhere near running a business.
And you understand that communication is probably the hardest part.
Well, it's like you're
takes a
saying
lot
about
of
an
time.
instructor. I mean, you're talking about if you have to instruct people, you have to be patient. And you know how much of a hard lesson that is to learn over time to be patient with someone who just isn't getting something.
Well, and not only that, a lot of people want to skip A and B and go right to C.
Very true.
Like say for example, if I'm grappling with somebody, I'll pull like a submission. Oh, how'd you do that? Can you show me how to do that? Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I can show you how to do a rear naked choke in 2 seconds, but you're not going to know how to get there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that a lot of people, you got to reel them in a little bit and say, okay, you got to do
Gotta
this
walk
first.
before you run.
Yeah, like I want to play Eruption on an electric guitar, but I can't play a C and D chord yet.
We'll get you there, buddy. We'll get you. On the break, we'll teach you some chords.
I can't just do this.
Jamie, come on over. You teach me to fight, I'll teach you to play guitar.
She's doing the guitar thing. She's doing a
There
pretty
you
good
go,
job.
there you
My
go.
short, fat little hands can't get on.
Get him a
the
bass.
fretboard.
Get him a
I love
bass.
the bass.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
That's the
Heavy metal
family
bass.
band right there. But either way, we're going to go to a video right now. Our good friend Noah Britton, he gives us advice every week. Unfortunately, he has not figured out how to use Photo Booth on his computer, so it's kind of difficult for him to give us advice. So either way, we're going to go to his advice segment. When we come back, we got much more with our guests, Sarah and Jamie. Let's see. You got some music? You want to play something? Oscar, you weren't even ready. Go to the break.
Yeah, lots of time in life.
Just like clap.
Hello, DIY the show. Welcome back to Ask a Guy Who's Having Trouble Getting Photo Booth to Work. I had a lot of great questions and really excited to answer them. Just give me 1 second. Should maybe edit this part out. What the fuck is wrong with this? God damn it. Stop it. Shit. What the fuck is wrong? Okay, so, shit. Okay, we're out of time. I gotta go. I'll get to you next week. Alright, thanks, DIY the show.
It's time for DIY.
Ooh, I like this little jammer going. Hey everybody, welcome back to DIY the show. My name's Andrew Lowry. We're talking self-defense here on the show. I got Sarah and Jamie with me. Thank you to the house band for beautifully strumming us in. I hope you're all watching on the live stream, and if you have any questions for our guests, leave them in the comments right now, and Bailey will let me know. She will make a loud buzzing noise or something. There we go, buzzing noise, and we will find out. But either way, I want to get back into the conversation here with my guests. I pull out my cheat sheet because I'm a professional. And so, you know, we want to talk a little bit about our topic. So now we got to know both of you a little bit, get into your background. So we're talking self-defense. Now, for me, you know, I have never been in a fight. Like I said, I've only been beat up. I know why it's important to be able to defend myself so I don't get beat up. Now, Sarah, for you, why do you find it's important to know self-defense?
Just to not be afraid. Like, I don't have to worry about walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just, I couldn't imagine not.
Were
you know?
So you've been training, like, your whole life. Now, in high school, did you ever have, like the tough walk down the halls where people like, oh, Sarah's coming by.
She still does.
She still does? Oh, there you go.
No, I had like it was like inner peace
There you
that
go.
I had going for me.
There you go.
I was completely straight edge in
The
high
Shaolin
school.
monk.
I didn't drink, I didn't do any drugs, but people would ask my friends what I was on and where they could get some. Because I would just walk down the hallway and I was like bullshit proof. Just totally calm inside.
Except when you're
like
walking
there's
down the hall punching the lockers.
Okay, that was 8th grade, okay? I got over that.
8th grade was tough. 8th grade's a tough year for
Everyone's
everyone.
messed up in 8th grade. That's an exception.
You're going through puberty, all confused, you know, it happens. But yeah, for you, Jamie, why do you like? Why is it important for you to be able to defend yourself?
There's a certain amount of arrogance about me, I guess.
Okay,
I suffer from a superhero complex.
I feel it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, it's almost like one of those things where knowing you have, like, you see someone getting picked on or jumped on or something like that, it's nice knowing you have the ability to put an end to it like that. And not only that, it's a pretty damn empowering feeling walking into a room and being like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool feeling. I'm not going to lie.
Did you
that's
think
pretty
that when
cool.
you came in this room?
No, because she's got a big cello she can beat
That
in
is
the head
true.
with.
That's true. We do have.
Watching you.
That's the equalizer. That's
There you
no,
go.
it's funny because I used to work in a lot of bars back in Syracuse, where I'm from, and you know, traditionally the bouncer's always the big bodybuilders and all stuff, and I was always the smallest guy by far. So probably to this day, if you go back to Syracuse and you mentioned Dalton, because I got caught on with that Patrick Swayze movie because he was always the smallest guy. Yeah, and people were like, did they just call you Dalton? I'm like, oh God, and it started like that.
Yeah.
And you know, we'd have to ask somebody to leave, and eventually, if it got to the point where, because I was the guy that watched the guys.
Yeah.
And if somebody's a little out of control, I'm like, come on, man, it's time for you to leave, because I always took the nice. It's much easier to be nice to them, and then they start getting mouthy to me, and the bigger guys would be like, dude, you're better off fighting with me than fighting with me. So, but it's just it's that feeling of knowing that you can pretty much go anywhere.
You're in control of the situation.
Yeah, control of the situation.
I think that's important too. So you say you have a superhero complex. What superhero?
Captain America, baby.
Captain America. There we go. The OG.
Well, because we're both like 80 years old, you know.
That's
so-
true. That's true. That's true.
I was actually contemplating a Halloween costume. It was going to be Captain America, but she's like, "No, you got this little bald thing going on here, so you can't." Do
No,
that.
you put the shield right there.
Well, no,
Just put a star on it.
You've hinted towards that for months. I don't know why you're so worried about your hair, because it's not going to be there much longer.
Listen,
So-
I'll go Dr. Phil right now if
Well,
you guys want to go Dr. Phil.
What has happened is a couple years ago, the debate was Walter White or Bane for Halloween.
Ooh.
I'm thinking Bane this year.
Bane?
Because I was Walter White a couple
You
years
should
ago.
just do like buff Walter White. So you got the shirt on, but the sleeves are
That's
ripped
not a bad
off.
idea.
And like you got cut off like
Say
khaki
my
shorts.
name, yeah.
The jumps. Oh, you do the jumps off.
Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg.
Yeah, just turn it Hulkenberg.
Hulk Hogan and
Say my name, Hulkenberg. You're goddamn right.
You're coming here on Halloween.
Goddamn right. I'll come back at
That
Halloween.
costume.
Hulkenberg. That's going to be it.
That's awesome.
Hulkenberg.
He's still vote. It's got to be the green Hulkenberg.
Green Hulk. There you go. Now Sarah.
Blue Hulk with the blue meth. That'll
Right.
work better.
There you go.
Right.
Blue map. There was a blue Hulk. I'm not gonna. Okay, I was about to go into some comments.
See what happens? You mentioned comic books, and off we go.
You know, Bruce Banner's best friend gets whatever. All right, we'll keep going. Hit me up in the comments if you actually want to know about that Blue Hulk's origin story. But either way, so we're talking about self-defense now. For me, like I think about fight or flight all the time. I think constantly, like I'm a political guy, and no matter which side you're on, things are kind of like bad all over the place.
A little bit.
Every major government is falling apart. The world is coming to some sort of major tipping point, whatever it is. I always think I'm in the first wave. I'm gone. I'm gone in that first wave. I am definitely. My plan was to start the bar. I'm fun enough that I think I could be charismatic and like talk my way out of most situations. So I could be the guy who like runs the bar in the end of the world. But I don't know how long that will last.
You'd be
So-
a traveling bard.
No, people kill that person. It's not medieval times where it's like no one wants
Your
that.
Highness.
No one wants
Well, it's like
that.
Bill Burr says, there's no reason gathering supplies for the apocalypse because you're just getting stuff for the toughest guy on the block. You know,
Exactly,
come to your house
exactly.
and shake you upside down and take your stuff.
Keeping that in mind, I'm thinking it's a lot mental. It's not only about physical. Now, for either of you, what are sort of some of the mental things, you know, when it comes to self-defense, some which you keep in mind?
Well, it's the willingness to act. Because what you'll notice with almost everyone is that even people that talk a big game that are really tough, when it comes time to act at that moment, getting themselves to actually do the right thing at the right moment is the biggest hurdle. Just because they have the ability, unless you have the willingness, it doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
It has to be right there at the moment. I was at a party one day, big huge guy who was the like security guy for the band that had just played. Anyway, we're at an after party. He's drunk, just demolished, right? And starts beating the crap out of his girlfriend for like no reason. Not that it would matter if there was a reason. And he grabbed her by the throat and slammed her up against the wall, and then like a little bit later he grabbed her by the hair and like threw her on the ground. I was standing across the room about this big when he threw her on the ground, and I decided that was the last time that he got to touch her.
Yeah.
You know? So I stood between him and her for the next like hour or two, just kind of sipping my beer, talking with people, but just physically between the two of them. Now, this party was full of like huge muscular bodybuilding dudes, right? Nobody suspects like that I'm gonna start anything, right? So anyway, so she goes over eventually and they start like fighting about like the car keys or something. So she grabs the car keys off the counter and he like kind of goes for her hand to like grab the keys, and he grabs onto her wrist, and I was like, that's it, boom. That's when I chose to act, because I had already made my decision, right? So like I grabbed him by the wrist and by the throat, took 2 steps and just dropped him right on his butt against the brick wall. And at that point I had him on the ground, and he looked at me like just with this look of like, what in the world just happened? How am I on the ground? And then like once I had him on the ground, then like all of these huge dudes jumped on him after that.
We got this.
Thanks guys.
Thanks for starting it. Wow.
We threw him out of the house. But like out of everyone there watching all of this happen, I'm the one that chose to act.
And that comes down to you having the mental ability to know when there's the wrong. I mean, that's literally living all my anime fantasies come to life. Like, that is one of those moments where you're, like, in the tea shop watching the, like, shitty gang members, like, mess with a waitress, and then you're like, no more. It's done. Samurai sword. So that's amazing. Jamie, how about you? What are sort of some of the mental things someone needs to keep in mind?
Well, for the longest time, one of my athletic idols, believe it or not, has been Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Mike Tyson has said all throughout his career is that before every single fight, he was afraid.
Yeah.
He was afraid. He had a certain amount of fear within him, which caused him to be as dangerous. He was the most dangerous human being on the planet at one point. And he said, I was afraid every time I went into the ring.
He'd been handed Holyfield's ear.
Yeah, well, his ear got in the way. I don't know. Didn't have pre-fight snack, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
There's always you always have a certain fear element also because it keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
If you get guys that go in there, I mean, I love one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube is videos of cocky fighters get knocked out. They start dancing and whack, next punch down the go. When you don't have a little bit of fear about you, you tend to lose respect for the person standing there. Be it some guy in a bar, some guy in a cage, some guy in a ring, it doesn't matter. You always have to have a little bit of healthy fear.
It's humility at the end of the day.
Keeps you sharp.
It's very interesting. So now we're going to go to another video, but I wanted to ask one last question. I thought this was a fun one. If you could fight anyone, who would you fight?
Tommy Lauren.
Tommy Lauren. Oh, I am there for that fight. There for that fight with bells on. Popcorn and like. Jamie, how about you?
Who would I fight? Just one person?
Just one person. I mean, if you want to do a group of people all at once.
Well, I've always said, if I landed on a planet of first graders, I would be Superman.
Wow.
Yeah, I would be the Superman. But if I had to pick one person to fight, it would. Yeah, you know what? Probably Donald Trump, believe it or not.
Donald Trump, there we go. I love it. So yeah.
I'm not against the guy.
Yeah. But he needs it, right?
Yeah,
totally needs
Well, because the thing is, I'd like to just crack him and watch him go down and watch his mouth shrivel up like a butthole.
His body would break. His body would break. It's all just blubber at McDonald's under
Probably
that
Trump,
skin.
yeah.
I strangled that bastard.
So either way, let us know in the comments who you would beat up if you could beat up anyone. We're going to go to another music video. We got a music video from the band KG Freeze. And when we come back, these two are going to actually show us some moves. So if you want to see me defend myself, them defend themselves, we're going to do some fighting. Cliff, Oscar, you want to play some music? Music, there we go. DIY, we'll be right back, baby! I don't know what camera I was on. Was I on the right camera?
for DIWHY.
My name's Andrew Lowry. I'm not sure which camera I'm on. Camera 2. We're back here on the show. Thank you for Cliff and Oscar for playing some beautiful songs, playing us in. Thank you all for tuning in, watching the show live right now. Now we're at the part of the show. We're going to do some live demonstrations. I have my guests, Jamie and Sarah, with me. They're going to show us some simple moves. So now we're talking about self-defense. Now, if for our viewers out there, a few of them, if they're just looking for some simple moves, maybe a simple attack, or you're mugged on the street. We live in the hard city of Boston, where it's not really that hard. I mean, worst thing that's happened to me is like a drunk frat bro kind of hassled me. But if say any of our viewers out there are worried for their safety, what are some things we can maybe do?
So the important thing is everybody neglects footwork when you're talking about self-defense, okay? If you're on the ground and the other guy's standing up, you're not winning. So being able to keep your stance and being able to keep your balance comes first, okay? So generally when I'm talking about any type of self-defense, any type of attack, what your feet are doing is super important, okay? So physically speaking, what I usually teach is I have people practice shifting their weight left and right. Find where your center is, okay?
Okay.
So like you go left and right, back and forth, just keeping your feet underneath you, and then find where the center is and eventually arrive in the middle and just feel what that feels like.
Yeah,
feel
right
your feet
here.
against the ground. Really important, okay?
Yeah.
And then get used to stepping back.
Okay.
When you step back, you
Have
step
really
back
bad
and you
knees.
put your foot flat on the floor with your heel down.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you hold the mic.
Here,
I-
we'll hold it in case,
Yeah, Jamie.
Not
I'll
used to. Okay,
Teamwork,
yeah,
teamwork.
Excellent. So you step back.
Okay.
And plant that heel.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But your body weight comes with you. Okay. But not in a way that's like cowering. Okay.
That's what I
in
did.
a way that where your back is up straight.
Okay.
Okay. Your hips are kind of forward, but your body weight comes back, and you just plant your weight into that heel.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you think about that, that's thing number one. No matter how the person's
Get your
coming at
stance.
you. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Get your stance. Don't fall down. All right.
I promise.
All right. So.
Don't make that promise.
Yeah, I
All right.
will. I will.
Then what we
Don't break
talk
it
about is I'll usually talk about a basic hand strike that again will be useful in a lot of different situations. Okay, it's the palm heel strike.
Okay.
Okay, the difference between a palm heel strike and a slap is a slap goes in a circular motion. A palm heel strike goes in a straight line.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to come kind of right from your center.
Yeah.
Straight forward.
Straightforward.
And hit with that part of your
Okay.
hand. Okay.
All right, so say I'm coming at you. Ready?
Okay.
So I'm like this.
Boom.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah. No. Okay, I got it. All right.
It's a lot of timing. So
Yeah.
a lot of people they'll defensively kind of
Yeah.
slap if you don't have training, but that's just pure momentum. If you learn to push it in a straight line,
Yeah.
now your power's coming up from the ground using your whole body, boom, into the strike. Okay, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hit
No,
you.
I know. I'm just a very nervous guy.
So if
You know
you
how I
think
feel.
about a person coming in to grab you,
Yeah.
or a person coming in to slug you, or a person grabbing you and
Yeah.
then trying to slug you, okay? That palm heel strike, because it goes in a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points.
Yeah.
So if they're coming in a circle,
Okay.
and you go in a straight line, you'll
Yeah.
probably beat them there. Okay, so there's a lot of speed inherent in that. It's not very difficult to learn either. I teach 4-year-olds how to do it.
So Sarah, we have actually our good friend Green Zeus in the studio. He's agreed to sort of help demonstrate some of these. Green Zeus, come on up. Let's hear for Green Zeus, everybody. Green Zeus, he has not been here this season yet. Green Zeus, your beard is full of dirt and stuff.
Well, I had to travel very, very far to get here. It seems as though you don't like green anymore, I've noticed.
We key it out in the background.
What does that mean? What is
It's a
keying?
technical term.
Well,
your
I
hair.
am very technical, and I am invulnerable to all sorts of harm. So let these mortals try to do their greatest harm to me.
All right, so Green Zeus is pretty cocky, Sarah, and I've been looking to knock him down a peg. So he's going to pretend to sort of come at you. So he's going to do a simple, maybe he's trying to snatch your purse, right? Or whatever. I don't know. I'm just a simple scenario. I would love to wear a purse. Your back part, your backpack, or your fanny pack, whatever sort of bag you have.
Fanny pack should come back.
So Will's coming for. So Green
Who's
Zeus.
Will?
This is going well. So, Green Zeus is coming at you, Sarah. Let's see how you would take him down. Let's see it.
Let me take
Okay, take him down.
No, take him down, yeah.
All right, problematic. All right.
So
Why did it hurt so much?
here, Green Zeus, I'll help you. I'll help you.
Right up. Right.
I'll help you.
That's totally fine.
So now I
that
had
was a mortal attack I tried to use, so that's why it all went down.
his
like
god
that.
powers were. Jamie, do you have a move maybe you want to try in Green Zeus?
You might want to get Green Zeus a chair for this one.
No, he'll be fine. We put enough rugs down, Jamie.
Okay, now I'm not giving a knee. So, if anybody's ever seen the UFC, one of the most common finishing moves you see in mixed martial arts is something called the rear naked choke.
Excuse me?
Yes. So take off your pants. I'm gonna get behind you.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's why people tap out before it gets too far.
He doesn't wear anything under those robes.
Yeah, this is just what you get.
All right, awesome. So rear naked chokes are kind of fun and they're kind of easy to do because a lot of times you get in fights and you're scrapping around. So the concept of the rear naked choke, you get behind your guy and you lock your arm. You got your forearm and your bicep. Now it's not a choke per se because you're not cutting off the wind.
No,
you're
of
just
course
cutting
not.
off the blood to the head. So
wait, what?
I'll catch you, Green Zeus.
Okay, so Green Zeus, as soon as you start to feel any pressure, make sure I'm going to count down to 3.
I don't have blood, it doesn't matter, I am immortal!
Yeah, so when you start feeling
The hell you are?
like that, I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1.
All right.
When I hit 1, I'm going to start the pressure. This is how quickly it works. Ready?
This will be fine.
3, 2, 1.
Green Zeus, do you need some? You want to go relax?
No, I'm going to relax.
Green Zeus.
I will rejoice in my divinity.
There's some goats out in the control room. Go feast on them, okay?
I'm gonna go get some goats.
All right, thanks. Let's hear it for Green Zeus, everybody. That was awesome, Jamie. Now, I really want to see you test your skills, so I'm gonna step out and maybe let you two show some things, right? So I wanted to ask, do you have a finisher? What's your crane kick? Do you have sort of a finishing move?
Oh boy. I go for the throat.
Oh.
So when you grab someone by the trachea, it's kind of like scruffing a cat. Like they're like, you have their attention. They are not going to resist you. I got to admit, I've done it actually twice in real life.
Oh Jesus.
So yeah, it works like a charm.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, so it's really not complicated and simple works. So.
Very cool, very cool. So I don't know if there's any other moves maybe you two would want to demonstrate for us?
Every time we go at it, somebody gets hurt. Usually me. Yeah. I got a few years on her, so.
Do you have like mats in the house? Can I ask that?
Well, I own a dojo, so I don't really need mats. I mean.
She just waits till I get out of the shower and attacks me when I'm.
Oh geez, X-rated. Woo.
She got me to tap one time, and that was attacking me with my back turned as I got out of the shower with no clothes on. She pushed me off the bed, I got on the floor, and she choked me out.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That's a fun time.
But there's one other detail that I left out that is just between.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Like
we piece it together here on DIY. That's what we do. Now, I have some friends out there who maybe are disabled or maybe not, as physically capable to sort of do every single move. Now, is there anything, maybe someone like that you could show on Jamie or something? I know, Jamie, it might be hard for you to act
not really.
Not as strong, but no? All right, well, if you have anything maybe you could show us, that would be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you don't have to have a lot of physical ability to make a lot of this stuff work, okay? So something as simple, like just put a foot forward. All right, so if you want to do something as simple as just take your foot like this and stomp downwards on their knee.
Oh my God.
Doesn't take a lot of skill. If you think about doing this full power, boom, just as hard as you can, snap somebody's knee. It doesn't take a lot, okay? So if somebody bigger and stronger than you is really trying to attack you and hurt you, you can't hold back. Like that's not an option. You have to go all out and you have to be unafraid of that.
Wow.
They have sacrificed their own right to physical safety the moment they attack you.
Very
if there's
true.
any doubt in your mind, you're going to get overrun.
That's
so,
awesome.
Something really simple like that. I'll show you again, slow motion, right? So we're in here, we could be grappling, he's trying to grab me, just stomp really hard on the knee. It's just literally, there's nothing to it.
Yeah, that's
all
terrifying.
Right
that is very terrifying. This is all very terrifying.
Simple works.
Very cool, very cool. Now, outside, I was telling you, I don't know if you had time to think about it. So I had asked, say, grizzly bear. I'm in the woods. I'm by myself, eating raw meat as I do. And a bear comes up and says, hey, Andy, let me get some of that meat. And I'm like, no, we're fighting. How would you take down a grizzly bear in that scenario specifically?
It's funny you should ask because I was literally just camping in a tent. I'm not making this up, at my uncle's house in upstate New York. And they had seen a bear 2 days before I was there, and they saw another bear a day after I was there, like over 400 pounds. So I thought about this a lot recently. Yeah. Do I get my knife?
Let's say, we'll get a knife. You get a knife.
Okay, so if I
Pocket knife. Pocket knife.
Well, do you want to see my?
Your pocket knife is probably puts mine to shame.
I think he needs this.
All right.
Yeah, oh, let's get the nunchucks. Screw this. Screw bears. Let's see that fucking nunchuck shit. Let's get those nunchucks out. That's the kind of stuff we bring you here on DIY. Live nunchucks, live fighting, people in wigs getting beat up. That's the kind of show we bring you here on DIY. So
this is my self-defense weapon of
oh,
choice.
yep, I'm out. I'm out. These mics are working now, so I'm not going to stand
I don't know
there.
if I could wrap this around a bear's neck, but if somebody pulled a knife on me, this is definitely what I would probably want to use as my self-defense weapon of choice. Because if you figure, okay, when it comes to weapons and it comes to defense, even against the bear, it's a lot about reach. Okay, I can reach them before they reach me. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, is anything that's going to cause a little bit of damage and you can touch them before they get into your distance, you're doing good.
Now,
So-
Green Zeus, are the mics picking up the whooshing noise the nunchucks are making? It is very.
Oh, they are picking up all the whooshing.
Are you feeling any better back there?
I'm terrified.
Okay.
Recover as soon as
So,
possible, man.
I don't know, Sarah. We got a little bit more time, but I figured if you want to show off some skills with those nunchucks, we'll just do that until we go to the next video.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that, or I could.
No, I'm not punching in when you got those in your hands.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jamie.
no, I'm not going to demonstrate nunchucks.
Did you bring two
techniques
pairs or
on
just
you.
one?
No, I brought them Enrique. Sorry, but.
All right, we'll watch you. So, all right, you guys, give me some drums. You got some drums?
Yeah.
Give me some karate drums.
What's that?
Karate drums. I don't know.
I was getting out the big
Oh, there you go. All right, let's see it. Sarah, here, showing it off. Oh, this is awesome. This is epic. Justin, make this epic. Oh, yeah. All right. That was awesome. Sarah, you were amazing. Sarah, thank you. Let's hear it for Sarah, everybody. Just like a kick-ass Jamie as well, thank you. All right, guys, we're going to go to one more video, and when we come back, we got Adrian Aardvark closing it out for the day. So, that was awesome, and I'm psyched up. We're going to have a fight club out in the parking lot after if you want to meet us out there. We're going to get bloody and bruised. But let's go to a yoga video right now. This is Caitlin Lassie to get us a little bit of zen for the end of the episode, teaching us about how to find your breath and how to find some wellness in this world. And when we come back, Adrian Aardvark. So, Cliff, Oscar, you want to give us some music? Oh, yeah. Those nunchucks were crazy.
Hey guys, it's Caitlin. I talked a little bit about how the practice of yoga asana, the physical practice of yoga, is all about becoming aware of your mind and your body and uniting the two. And today I'm going to talk about how that process actually can occur. The sole catalyst of that process is your breath. Breath is the best tool that we have as humans to connect to the present moment. Think about it. Actually, even do this yourself while you're watching this. Think to yourself, inhale, and then breathe in. Now think, exhale, and breathe out. Notice how immediately everything else stopped, and all there was inhale and exhale. That is because your breath can only exist in the present moment. You can't breathe in the past, you can't breathe in the future. It's just like breathe into the past or future. It's just not possible, right? You can only breathe right here, right now. And the same is true for your body. Your body can't be in the past and it can't be in the future. I mean, I don't know, the way that technology is growing these days, before we know it, we might be able to be in the past and the future, but for right now, our bodies can only be right here, right now. And the same is true of our minds. Our minds, our thoughts, they can only exist in the present moment. So the thing is that getting onto your yoga mat and deciding, okay, today I'm going to practice yoga asana. I'm going to get to know my mind. I'm going to get to know my body. I'm going to become aware of the connection between the two. It's one thing to step on your yoga mat and say that, and it's another for the process to actually happen. It's not very easy because our world is filled with distractions. But if you utilize your breath for the tool that it is, that process can happen much more easily. Because as you just discovered, right, for yourself, once you bring awareness to your breath, you immediately become present. And right in the present is where your mind exists and where your body exists. So breath is the bridge between your mind and your body. And then once you're aware of all of these parts of you, all of them are coexisting together right here, right now, and you're aware of your existence. Practice of yoga in a nutshell. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them my way. Head to CaitlinLassieYoga.com.
It's time for DIY.
Everybody, we're back here on DIY the show. I'm Andrew Lowry. Am I too close to the camera? I don't care. Each week here on the show, I try to do something special and try to teach you all about a topic. This week's was self-defense. So I had a great time talking with Sarah and Jamie. They taught me a lot. They taught me, don't be afraid. That's what I need, just straight up in life, I need to stop being so afraid, and I think you all need to as well. So take their advice. Find some inner strength. I'm going to learn some fighting moves. I'm going to start working out, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to at least try to, maybe learn some Tai Chi or something. But either way, that's what we talk about here on DIY is finding inner strength and finding the ability to do the things that you want to do. So I'd be really bummed out if I didn't do this right now, but we got Adrian Aardvark in the studio. They're going to kill it with some live performance. You saw him at the beginning of the show. Now watch him close it out. So without further ado, let's give a nice loud round of applause for Adrian Aardvark, everybody!
I know, haven't really talked. Sure, we've conversed, but we haven't really said anything at all. There is an elephant filling up this whole room. Could it be my feelings that are stifling the air? Wonder what you'd say if I whispered in your ear, told you you should stay, or we could have a home anywhere. Our hands are stained from beats. Look just like purple monsters trying to take over this kitchen. Lost looks and dirty dining ware. The sink is overflowing with dishes and it smells just like bad breath. I wonder what you'd do if I just kissed your cheek, told you my love is true, and I'm not just another wooden floor creak. State is blooming with so much change. The future comes with the morning. Don't have to be depressed anymore. No! You don't have to be depressed anymore.
Oh my god! Holy shit! Adrian Aardvark tore this fucking studio apart. I don't care what camera I'm on. They just tore it apart. I'm so excited. How do you guys all feel?
Good.
Really happy.
Have you heard?
Like a smoothie. How about you, Kat? Nobody can see it. It's on the ground. Either way, go check out Adrian Aardvark's new record, Dying Optimistically, with this cat here. Me and this cat. It doesn't make noises when you want it to, but it makes noises when I'm talking. But either way, Adrian Aardvark, check him out online. Check out the new album here. You mind holding this? Either way, here on the show, I had so much fun. Thank you all for playing. Any shows coming up? Anything you should know about?
Monday, we're playing Saratoga Springs, New York.
Go check him out if you're in New York. I guess Jamie and you came from the same hood, so maybe you could talk him into coming up. Maybe there you go. But either way, here on the show, we have so much fun. We're coming back in 2 weeks. We're talking about stuff and things. What that means, I'll tell you later. Either way, Cliff, Oscar, you want to play some music? Oh, there it is. Ready? We got to sing the theme song. You guys learned it too? Ooh. Yeah, here we go. 1, D.
Why? It's time for DIY.
Come on. Green Zeus, you want to get out here, Green Zeus? DIY. Banda Bailey, you two, come on out. It's time for DIY. What are we doing? Green Zeus, here we go. Yeah, fight him. Yeah, this. It's time for DIY. Okay. Oh, ready. Yeah, that was sick. Bye. That's DIY. We're out.